Horror doesn't always start with a scream. Sometimes it creeps in quietly, like a shadow stretching across the floor when the light is just right. It started with a crayon. Liam, my 7-year-old brother, had always loved to draw. He would spend hours hunched over his sketch pad, lost in his own world of superheroes and monsters. But that night, as I passed by the dining table, something about the way he was drawing stopped me. He wasn't humming to himself like he usually did. He wasn't kicking his feet under the chair. He was still. Too still. His fingers gripped the crayon so tightly his knuckles turned white. His hand moved in quick, erratic strokes, pressing down so hard I could hear the paper tearing. I swallowed. "Hey, buddy, what are you working on?" Liam flinched. He curled over his drawing as if to shield it from my view. "Nothing," I frowned. "Come on, let me see." He hesitated, then slowly turned the sketchpad toward me. My stomach clenched. The page was covered in frantic, jagged black strokes. The paper had been scratched to the point of tearing, crayon wax smudged like dirt beneath fingernails, but in the center of the chaos, untouched by the darkness, were two stark white ovals. Eyes. Empty, hollow, staring. I forced a chuckle, but it came out dry. "That's pretty creepy, man. What is it?" Liam didn't look up. His voice was barely above a whisper. "It's him." A prickle of unease crawled up my spine. "Who?" Liam swallowed, his little fingers curling tighter around the crayon. "The man who watches me sleep." I wanted to laugh, I really did. But something in Liam's voice, something small and afraid, made my throat tighten. "What do you mean, buddy?" I asked carefully. Liam cast a wary glance toward the hallway, like he was afraid something might be standing there. "I see him at night," he whispered. "In my room." I frowned. "Like a shadow?" Liam shook his head, his grip on the sketchpad tightening. "He's not a shadow, he's real." I exhaled. "Okay, well, if he's real, what does he look like?" Liam hesitated, then pointed at the drawing. "It looks like this." I stared at the hollow white eyes on the page. A chill slithered down my spine. I forced a smile. "It's probably just your imagination, bud. You know how the dark can make things look scarier than they are." Liam finally looked up at me, and his next words made my blood run cold. "He said you'd say that. That night I left my bedroom door open, just in case. I wasn't scared." "Not really." Liam had always been prone to nightmares, and I figured this was just another phase. He grew out of it. At least, that's what I told myself. But sometime after midnight, I woke up. Something was wrong. The air was heavy, too thick. And then I heard it, a sound that didn't belong. Breathing. Slow. Ragged. Wet. Not mine, not Liam's. Something else. My chest went tight, every muscle in my body locked in place. I turned my head toward the doorway. Liam stood there, barefoot in his pajamas, his small frame silhouetted against the dim hallway light. His face was pale, his lips trembled. But it wasn't him I was afraid of. It was the thing standing behind him. At first I thought it was just another shadow, just the dark playing tricks on my sleep-addled mind, but then it moved. A tall, spindly figure, half hidden in the black. Its arms were too long, its fingers too thin. Its entire body seemed to pulse, shifting like ink swirling through water. And then it stepped forward. My breath hitched. The light from the hallway barely touched it, but it was enough to see the hollow, white eyes, just like Liam's drawing, waiting. My body screamed at me to move, to do something, but I was frozen, trapped beneath a crushing wave of terror. Then Liam spoke. His voice was barely a whisper. "He's closer now." The thing twitched. I don't remember grabbing the lamp. I don't remember throwing it. But I do remember the light exploding against the floor. For a split second, the room was flooded with brightness, and I saw it. Its skin wasn't skin at all, just darkness stretched over something wrong. It didn't have a mouth, but it was grinning. Then the light flickered out, and it was gone. Liam let out a choked sob and ran into my arms. I held him tight, my heart pounding against my ribs. We sat there, breathing hard, waiting for something to move. Nothing did, but I could still feel it, the wrongness in the air, the weight of something watching from just beyond the light, waiting. The next night, Liam slept in my bed. Every light was on. Neither of us spoke about what had happened, but deep down I knew it wasn't over, and I was right. I woke up in the middle of the night. Liam was sitting up in bed, staring. I followed his gaze. The closet door was open. I didn't remember leaving it open. Inside, nothing but darkness. I held my breath, my skin prickled. Then, two pale, white eyes blinked open in the black, and a voice, dry and jagged like shattered bone, whispered, "You told." The door slammed shut. Liam gasped. I lunged forward, flicking the lights on. The room was empty, but I knew we weren't alone. Not anymore. And maybe, just maybe, we never had been. Liam hasn't drawn since that night. Not dinosaurs, not superheroes, not even stick figures. But one morning, I found his sketch pad under the bed. There was only one drawing left. Not of it, not of the eyes, but of me, lying in bed, and the closet door standing wide open, with a single, black hand reaching out. I stared at the picture, my stomach twisting. Then I noticed something written in shaky, uneven letters at the bottom of the page. "He said you can see him now." The air behind me turned cold, and in the reflection of the window, something moved.